Guys, where were we? So a lot more is coming out when it comes to this stuff. A court filing has been basically admitted via the prosecution side, and I've written cliff notes. Hey guys, it's Murad, daily and consistent content. Let's get into this video. As you can see guys, so many notes have been written and we're going to go through them quickly and get everything over to you. Basically, the filing goes over the fact that there are messages between him and Cassie and that he was selectively talking about evidence when that really doesn't even exist, and he conveniently leads all of the stuff that Cassie said about how she felt like she was a rag doll and that she was used as one in that moment in the hotel, and we've seen those text messages that have been released. So we're going to park that part of the filing, which they obviously reiterate to remind the judge as to why he shouldn't get bail. But this is the new information. Specifically, whilst in custody at the MDC, the defendant Diddy has repeatedly communicated with others in ways that violate BOP rules and are designed to evade BOP and law enforcement monitoring, including, as described below, using PAC numbers belonging to other inmates to make calls, using three-way calls to contact other individuals, including individuals who are not on his approved contact list, and using an unauthorized third-party communication system to send messages to numerous individuals, including unauthorized contacts. The government has reviewed dozens of recordings of BOP jail calls in which the defendant uses telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates. This is what Diddy is doing, which is against BOP regulations. Seemingly to avoid law enforcement monitoring, Diddy uses other inmates' PAC numbers to make phone calls to both individuals on the defendant's approved contact list as well as other individuals who are not on the approved contact list. Lord, to obtain or maintain access to other inmates' PAC numbers, the defendant directs others to pay the inmates, including 3 payments processing apps and BOP commissary account deposits. The defendant knows this is against BOP regulations. At the outset of each telephone call, sharing of PAC numbers is against BOP policy and is subject to disciplinary action. Three-way calling, the defendant also frequently instructs individuals whom he contacts by telephone, including family members and his attorneys, to add other individuals via three-way call. This practice is also not authorized by the BOP as it helps to conceal the identities of the contacted individuals. The government has reviewed multiple calls in which the defendant has instructed others to dial in third parties, including members and associates of the enterprise and individuals who are not on the defendant's contact list, again going against the MDC. There are non-authorized messenger services in addition to flouting BOP rules regarding phone use. Diddy also uses a non-authorized third-party messaging app called Contact Me ASAP to obscure his communications. The defendant appears to be using the 2 Contact Me ASAP accounts. First, Diddy's BOP contact list includes a particular email address assigned to the defendant's son, which does not appear to be an account owned by Diddy's son, but instead appears to be an email connected to Contact Me ASAP. Second, the defendant appears to be using another inmate's Contact Me ASAP account. Primarily using email 1, the defendant has exchanged hundreds of text messages via Contact Me ASAP with dozens of individuals, including attorneys, individuals who are also not on the list. More concerning, however, is the defendant's use of these unauthorized methods of communication to continue his efforts to obstruct and subvert this criminal proceeding. The defendant's intentions are reflected in his own words on BOP calls with a network of family members and associates whom the defendant has tasked with executing his will. On multiple calls, often using the PAC numbers of other inmates, the defendant is explicit about his intention to use public statements to alter public perception, and the defendant leaves no doubt that this narrative he wants is the potential jury's poor perception of this criminal proceeding. The defendant does not stop there. During other calls, Diddy makes clear his intentions to anonymously publish information that he thinks will help his defense. The defendant's efforts to obstruct the integrity of this proceeding also includes relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his abuse who could provide powerful testimonies against him. For example, on October 4th, 2024, in a call involving the defendant and one of his adult sons, the defendant says, the information is unfortunately redacted and I don't understand why, the defendant's new proposed bail package is also insufficient in the face of the significant evidence that the defendant poses a risk of obstruction, a danger to the community and a risk of non-appearance. The defendant's proposed updated bail package is unfortunately insufficient. Not unfortunately. As discussed, the defendant has shown repeatedly, even whilst in custody, that he will flagrantly and repeatedly flout rules in order to improperly impact the outcome of his case. The defendant has shown, in other words, that he cannot be trusted to abide by rules or conditions. Whilst the proposed conditions suggest the defendant Diddy will have no access to telephones or the internet except for calls with his counsel, this is insufficient to ensure that the defendant will cease engaging in unauthorized in doing so against BOP regulations. If the defendant cannot abide by rules in the MDC, there is no reason he should be trusted to abide by the court's conditions in a less restrictive setting. Boom. Furthermore, the defendant's proposal to restrict visitors to select family members is also insufficient. Since being in custody, the defendant has deployed family members to carry out obstructive conduct on his behalf. As evidence in jail calls, the defendant asked family members to reach out to victims and witnesses, creating narratives to influence the jury pool and pursue marketing strategies to sway public opinion. Boom. So these are the main parts of the filing, which are brand new information. A lot of it also was focused on the kids and what the children, not the kids and what they were doing, which I discussed in my earlier video. But I really wanted to get into the tech analysis, the tech deep dive of the pack numbers that he was using, different apps to obscure communications. Basically, what they're saying is, if he's doing all of this, and the fact that they were holding on to this information after 3 of his bails were denied is killing me. But for the 4th time, they're like, you're absolutely not going to get out. They said that this man has been breaking the rules, the law in the MDC unit. What makes you think he's not going to break that when he goes outside, when it comes to this new bail package about how he's going to use restricted internet? He's already in a place with restricted internet, yet he's still breaking the rules. So this is a major madness. They have brutally exposed not only the phone calls and what he was getting his children to do, but also the fact that he would use other inmates to do so. Therefore, this, in my opinion, corroborates the story of that ex-inmate speaking out 2 days ago about how people are falling in love with him, making his bed for him. Diddy is building a hierarchy in that dormitory. That's basically what he's doing, and he's getting them to do his bidding work, which is why he's using multiple of their accounts to obscure communication on these apps to have these phone calls with people. Why are you in a position having obscured phone calls in jail? What are you going to do even outside on jail on bail? This is why they're not letting him out. Not even just because of his intimidation tactics with witnesses, but for the fact that he's having obscured private communication with people when he shouldn't be doing so, going against MDC's guidelines in the prison. He's going to be facing disciplinary action now for basically what he's done. They've locked this, they've loaded this information, and the judge is going to read this and be like, ain't no way you're getting out, bro. Sorry. So now we know how this is going to go on 22nd of November. I believe that he definitely is not going to be granted that bail, because this is clear proof about what he's doing. I was right about the children. I was right about what they were doing. All of my suspicions were correct. Like, I knew what they were doing. I knew it was a plan. I knew that they were up to no good because of Diddy since that statement about Kim Porter, but I already discussed that in my previous video. This is the main stuff that I really wanted to get out to you. Also in the hearing, it does state that he basically was paying Kalana Halper as well, that individual who came up against Dawn Richards and did that weird interview, that she was paid to do XYZ. So people are still being paid to do stuff by Diddy's despite the fact that he's in jail. That's what people need to understand and be out on the look for the madness that he's doing and the impact that he has, the network that he has. Probably why a lot of these celebrities are quiet. I do wonder who he's speaking to. Is he speaking to other celebrities? Is he speaking to other people that we know? Why are you using other people's apps? 8 other inmates, you're using their stuff, breaking the laws. 3-way calls, asking your family to intimidate the witnesses. Ray J being jumped 3 times, also connect that. Is he a witness to stuff that went down? Is that why he's doing this forced accountability humiliation ritual online and was crashing out yesterday? Connect the dots, guys. Like I told you, so many of you guys were, oh, Mural, you're talking too much about Diddy. The trial hasn't even started yet. Do you understand? All of this information that is coming out every other day, if it's not a lawsuit, it's updates from the prosecution's team. Like, it's going to be a very prolific trial that is about to come out. 5th of May 2025. It's going to be an absolute madness. We're just getting started when it comes to this stuff. The trial hasn't even begun. He has been brutally exposed by the prosecution's team. They have a strong, thick case against him. So all of this selective evidence that Diddy had from what his lawyers were saying was all a lie. There's no evidence. It was all a lie, guys. There is no evidence at all. Lord, let me know your thoughts are, guys, when it comes to this. Yes, I'm wearing this jumper again. This is my favorite jumper, so I thought, you know what, let me just wear it. I am parched. Let me go drink some water. Do subscribe, comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I mean, subscribe if you guys want to. But yeah, back to back, I wanted to get these videos out to cover this whole situation because it was a lot.